Hello everyone, here is Ali Talabi, and this is our module 6, the wrap-up session. So we are going to review some major notes. I'm going to provide you some hints, and we'll talk about some common mistakes, and finally we'll come to some questions and we'll review those questions and we'll provide you the answer. So let's start our session. So in this module, we talk about bonds. So there are some major notes which you need to remember. So we talk about the present value of the bonds. We talk about the coupon payment. And I mentioned to find the present value of the bond, you need to find the present value of all future cash flows, which includes the coupon payment and the face value, which you will receive at expiry date or maturity date of the bonds. Remember, these coupon payments or the coupon rates is not same as the discount rate or the interest rate, which we also call that as YTF. So we use another term, yield to maturity, for the discount rate or the interest rate. These are not necessarily the same, and most of the time they are not the same. As I mentioned also in the last note, remember, since these are not same, the price of the bond is not same as the face value. So make sure you distinguish between the coupon rate and interest rate. I've seen in many cases my students they assume that the coupon rate is same as the discount rate, which is not correct. Most of times they are different. The next note is regarding the coupon payments. The coupon payment is calculated based on the coupon rate, and this rate and the payments are fixed over the life of bond. So for example, if you're talking about a coupon rate of 10%, the face value is $1,000, which means on annual basis you receive $100. So if the life of the bond is 5 years, you will receive $100 per year. So whatever happens, you will receive that amount. It doesn't go up, it doesn't go down. So if you're within that payment period, as long as the bond is issued, the coupon payment is not changing. However, your expected return, your interest rate, the YTM might change over the life of bond. As the market is changing, as the inflation is changing, as the risk premiums are changing, the YTM and the discount rate will also change. And we know as the interest rate is changing, the bond price is changing, because we learned again the bond price is based on the present value of all future cash flows. So you're discounting all these cash flows with the discount rate, interest rate, and this interest rate is changing over the life of bond. And that's why the bond price is changing in the bond market. Again, not because of changing the coupon payment, because of changing in the YTM or interest rate. So I mentioned several times regarding FV in your calculator. You see that FV, we talk about the future value. The face value of the bond also is FV, but the concept, the notion is different here. The face value, that's how much you will receive at expiry date, and the future value, that's the money you will receive in the future. Most of the time, these are same. The bond, the face value is $1,000, so you will use that $1,000 as your future value in your calculator. But in some cases, those are not the same. For example, for callable bonds, you should use the call price, which is greater than the face value $1,000, and you should use that call price for the future value. So be careful with that and distinguish between the face value and future value. Now let's look at the questions related to this module. The first question I have here is a bond selling at a discount. Which statement is correct? So we talked about this and we mentioned there is a relationship between the coupon rate, current yield, and YTM. And we came to the point that when you are talking about the discount, so this is the bonds are sold at discount, which means that the coupon rate, so let me write it down, the coupon rate is actually less than YTM. In other words, as long as your expected return or interest rate or required return is greater than the coupon rate, which is what you receive, the bonds are sold at discount. And I mentioned the current yield is always in between. So the current yield is less than YTM and the current yield is greater than the coupon rate. So when the bonds are sold. So when you look at this option, you will see right away that A is providing the answer because saying the current yield is less than the yield to maturity, which is correct. And we talk about the bonds when they're sold at premium. So if you just turn around the inequality, so in which the coupon rate is greater than the current yield and current yield is greater than the YTM, that's the case when the bonds are sold at premium. And we talk about when the bonds are sold at par. In this case, all these three variables, coupon rate, current yield, and YTM are same for par bonds. Now let's look at the second question. So as I mentioned, the answer for this question will be A. Question 2, here we need to find the coupon rate, so that's what we're looking for. For the bond which has 4 years to maturity, the current price is $10.99, yield to maturity 8%, and the face value is $1,000. My advice for you, use your financial calculator. We talked about this before, so and we are dealing with the third row of this calculator. So we have these 5 variables. Your N in this case here is 4 years. The discount rate, or I here, it's given as 8%. That's the same as your yield to maturity. The present value is $10.99, so you are buying that, and remember you need to pay for that, so that's why you go with negative sign cash outflow. The payment, now here is the tricky point. You're looking for the coupon rate, and the payment is calculated based on the coupon rate, because we learned that the payment is actually your coupon rate, whatever it is, times the face value, which usually is $1,000. So that's how we calculate the payment. And the face value here is $1,000. So that's the whole argument here. Now let's go and calculate the payment by using our calculator. So 4N 8I 1099 negative PV. I skip PMT because it's not, that's the one we're looking for, it's not given, and 1000 FB. And you are computing the payment. So here is the payment actually I found. As you see, it's 109.89. So the payment is 109.89. And remember, we are not looking just for the payment, we're looking for the rate, and we know that the face value is $1,000. And for sure, you can say from here that the coupon rate is 109.89 divided by 1,000, which is almost 10.989%. Now, if you look at the options, the closest number I have to 10.989 is 11%. So the coupon rate for this question should be 11%, which means the answer is C. Now let's look at the third question. So the third question is saying, what is the yield to maturity of a bond? So we are looking for the YTM, or that I per Y in your calculator, with a coupon rate of 10%, semi-annual payments, and the current price of $1,100 and 4 years until maturity. We talk about semi-annual bonds. I mentioned you need to make 3 adjustments. You need to change the coupon payment, you need to change your YTM, and also you need to change your N. So let's do this. We are talking about, so we are using our financial calculator again. We are talking about N. Here it's saying you have 4 years until maturity. So you need to use 4 times 2. Again, the semi-annual, which means you have 8 semi-annual until maturity. What is your I, or discount rate? That's what we are looking for, YTM. What's the present value? How much you are paying for that? $1,100. Again, you are paying for that. It should be negative. What is your payment? Payment is based on the coupon rate, which is 10%. 10% of $1,000, that's $100. Again, remember, that's a second adjustment. You are going with semi-annual, which means you will receive $50, not $100. Again, why? Because you receive the money every 6 months. So you need to divide it by 2. And the face value is same as $1,000. So based on this, you can calculate the I per year. So what is your discount rate here? So let's use our calculator. 8N, $1,100 negative PV, 50 PMT, 1,000 FV. You are computing I. So now here you have to be careful, because the number which this calculator is giving you, the discount rate, which is now 3.54%, this is for 6 months. You're right, and this is the semi-annual bond. So if you want to find the YTM, you have to multiply this by 2, because again, this is for 6 months, and the YTM is always expressed on annual basis. This is yield to maturity, which is expressed on annual basis. So you need to multiply that by 2, which gives you just over 7%. To be more specific, it's 7.08%. So the closest number I have here is B, 7%. So your YTM in this case becomes 7%. Now let's look at question 4. Suppose a bond gets upgraded to a higher rating, then the yield to maturity of the bond will decrease, the coupon rate on the bond will decrease, the bond will not be affected, the price of the bond will decrease. So we talk about credit rating agencies in which they actually rate different bonds. So as the bonds is going to the higher rating, it means the default risk is going down, which means actually the YTM or discount rate for such bonds is going also down. Now here you have to be careful, because remember, we are talking about upgrading to higher rating when you have the bond. The coupon payment is not changing. It's already issued bonds. It's already in your hand, and you receive the fixed amount. But what will change here is the expected return or discount rate or the YTM. Since now you are dealing with a higher rating bonds, it means the default risk going down, which means the discount rate should be lower. In other words, the YTM will decrease. So A should be the correct answer. And as the YTM is going down, the bond price is going up. So it means this bond now worth more in the market because the risk, default risk for such bond is lower. So the answer should be A. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. Here is our 6th module. Take care. Have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Here is Ali Talabi.